Many things comes with a manual which describes the object itself and says the purpose and uses of the object, and the same thing is with preamble. Preamble is the first thing we got to read when we read constitution. So preamble describes the purpose, philosophy, uses, ideas and aspirations, principles, objectives of the act or legislation. Many people have also said that preamble is like a blueprint or a map. So when you look at the preamble of any act or legislation, you will automatically understand what the act or legislation is about mainly. Preamble is taken from Latin term preambulus, which means to go before. Here I will try to cover all questions related to preamble. So the first question arises, what is preamble? Like its word of origin, preambulus is an introductory statement for any act or legislation. Like before I said, which describes the purpose, philosophy, uses, ideas and aspiration, principles, objectives of the act or legislation. Then second most important question arises, who drafted the preamble? When we were making our constitution, then Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru presented a draft in front of Constituent Assembly that how is our constitution is going to be, which right and liberties will be given to its citizens, and other ideas and expressions were contained in the draft. This draft is known as Objective Resolution, which were presented in 13th December 1946, and the same Objective Resolution were adopted in 22nd of January 1947. Since it is adopted, preamble has been modified, amended only one time by the 42nd Amendment Act. It has added 3 new words to the preamble by the 42nd Amendment Act: socialist, secular and integrity. So now let's see some important words in the preamble. So the preamble starts with the line "We the people." This is the first line we see in preamble. This line establishes the source, or I can say the power of Indian Constitution. This line means Indian Constitution is not made by external force or outside power. No, Indian Constitution is made by Indian people. Indian people are source of Indian Constitution. Then second, nature. So the words sovereign, democratic, secular, socialist, republic, these 5 words defines the nature of Indian Constitution. Then there are objectives like justice, equality, fraternity and liberty. It establishes objectives of Indian Constitution. And in last we have a date which is 26th of November of 1949. In this date, the Indian Constitution was adopted. Preamble along with an introductory statement and guide. It tells us about source, nature and objectives of Indian Constitution. Now let's discuss some important words given in preamble. First one is sovereign, which means India is an independent country which can manage its internal affairs on its own. No external power can interfere in internal matters of India, which means India is independent to make its own decisions whether to make any laws or any amendments to the constitution. Now the second word, which is socialist. So the word socialist was also inserted through 42nd Amendment Act. So what we generally think is we relate word socialist to the communist theory, but that's not true. The communist theory means government has wholly or partially control over means of productions. So this is what is communist theory. But the word socialist used in preamble is inspired from Mahatma Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru philosophy, which is completely opposite and different. Here's why. The objective of Mahatma Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru philosophy, whose objective is to establish welfare of state, which means removal of poverty, ignorance, inequality, etc. from the society. So at the face of it, the word socialist is like control of government. So it is not true in fact of India. In India, it is used in positive way, which is used in a positive manner to remove poverty, ignorance, etc. from society. So I am very damn sure that I have pretty much cleared the doubts on the word socialist, which is also very controversial sometimes. So the next word is secular. So this was also inserted by 42nd Amendment Act. Secular means state will not have a religion of its own. So many of you guys who are law students or preparing for law entrances got confused in the words between socialist and secular, because guys, the meaning of these words outside the preamble is very different. But these words are very positively used in our preamble. So what these words mean outside the preamble, but inside the preamble these are used in a very positive way by saying that secular, or saying that the state will not have its own religion. I don't mean that, or the preamble don't mean that nobody in the country or the individuals in the country can't practice their religion. No, that's not what the word secular in preamble means. In many countries, word secular has been defined as anti-religion or opposed to religion. For example, in France, where you can't practice your religion publicly. So France is also secular, but you can't practice your religion publicly. But in India, secular was used positively. So in India, it is said India has positive secularism, in which state do not have its own religion, but at the same time, the individuals in the country have full freedom to practice their religion, in which they are free to practice, profess and propagate, and also they can manage their religious institutions too. So that's why it is said India has positive secularism. Number 4, democracy. So here we can divide this word in two terms. First one is demo and second one is cracy. Word demo means people and crazy means rule. So it means rule of people. So there are two types of democracy, direct and indirect. In India we have indirect, which is also known as representative form of democracy. Last one, republic. Both president and prime minister are elected head of state, like in Britain, where the executive head is hereditary. But in India, the executive head are elected by its own people of the state. Before ending this video, there are two most important questions from the exam point of view and from the entrance point of view. These are the most important questions relating to preamble. The first question is preamble a part of constitution? And second one is, can it be amended? I will answer these both questions together in a very simple and easiest way. So before proceeding, let me tell you this provision, which is Article 368, which gives power to Parliament to amend the constitution. Let's answer these questions. Is preamble a part of constitution? Can it be amended? Berubari, union and exchange of enclave. In this case, what Supreme Court said, Parliament can amend any part of constitution, but preamble is not a part of constitution. That's why preamble cannot be amended by Article 368. In this case, the Supreme Court has done one mistake. They didn't notice one point, which was like the other parts of the constitution, preamble was also adopted and enacted by the same procedure. This point that was missed was observed in this most famous case, Kesavananda Bharati versus State of Kerala, in which Supreme Court said, like the other parts in constitution, the preamble was also adopted and enacted in same procedure, which means preamble is also a part of constitution. So, using power given in Article 368, the Parliament can amend any part of constitution, including preamble. The Parliament doesn't have absolute powers to amend the whole constitution or any part of constitution, but without touching the basic structure or the basic feature of the preamble or the constitution. So that's why it is a landmark case in which all the things were cleared. A dividing line was drawn. What can be done, what cannot be done, what is amendable, what is not amendable. And it was again said that Parliament does not absolute power to amend any part of constitution. Not the judiciary, not the executive. No one is above the law. It is our constitution which is supreme. I hope you like this video and I hope I have cleared all your doubts on the topic preamble. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe and leave a like and also share this video to your friends. Till then, be happy, be focused.